Hello again, welcome to Church and Verse. Today we're visiting a very old church in the village of Stanwick, but I'm going to say Stanwick in this video. And it's just behind me over there, you can see. Please remember to subscribe, share and like so other people can see this video. It's a really good one, and let's get to it. Right, here we are then. First thing of interest here, this little fountain into this wee trough here. Don't know how old this little place is, but let's move on. There's the church behind us. Let's move on. Of course, my favourite sign whenever I come to one of these churches is the sign that says Historic Church Open, which means we'll actually be able to get inside. You can already see it's a really nice and really well manicured churchyard here, with these trees creating a kind of boulevard to go up to the church. As I was saying earlier, this is a really old church. I think it's 12th century, but we'll confirm in a minute. And it's got some really good historical things inside it. Of course, it's not completely easy to get in because we have this little gate on the outside here that I've somehow got to open. There, it wasn't so difficult after all. And come into here, and what we find is that this is St John the Baptist in Stanwick, and it's cared for by the church's conservation trust. So, if you like, do have a visit of their site. And no longer used for regular worship, but remains consecrated and open to all. So let's get in. Switch on the lights. Didn't seem to work. Let me give it another try. Well, unfortunately, there aren't any lights that work at the moment. I think the mains are switched off. I was just talking to a lady, Pauline, who actually helps look after the church. So we're going to have to do this little video in the dark today, see what we can see. I'm sure when I last visited this that the lights were on, but I must be wrong. But I know there's some really old artifacts at the back here. You can't really see, unfortunately. But if you ever come and visit here, you might do. Again, just looking up here, got some beautiful plaques. It's a shame, there are actually lots of lights here, you can see them, but not for today. It's obviously a really quiet church because it stands pretty much alone. There's a farm opposite, but it's not close to any main roads or anything. Lovely organ there. We can actually see that because of the light from the window behind. So it looks like I'm pretty much just going to be talking and commenting on things I can see. Up at the altar here, I think that's the Apostles' Creed up there. It starts with I believe. I think that's the Apostles' Creed. Can't read that over there. And over here, we have something in Latin. At the start, it says something about 1591, so maybe it dates from then. It's nice to see these things in Latin. as a reminder of the past. Lovely little tomb there. When I was talking to Pauline, I think she was saying the place is only open once or twice a year. When the Christmas tree was up recently, it was open. And obviously the lights would have been on for that. And also, if I really wanted to, I could probably organise to come back with the lights on, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I haven't got my own Bible with me today, but there's a beautiful Bible here. So I can't really read it, but what maybe I'll do, instead of reading it today, I'll just show you it. It's actually open at the moment on Psalms. Can't see which verse. There, Psalm CXX. What's that, 120? I'll read a little bit. Let my supplication come before thee. Deliver me according to thy word. My lips shall utter praise when thou hast taught me thy statutes. My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness. Let thine hand help me, for I have chosen thy precepts. I have longed for thy salvation, O Lord, and thy law is my delight. Let my soul live, and it shall praise thee, and let thy judgments help me. I have gone astray like a lost sheep. Seek thy servant, for I do not forget thy commandments. So that would be Psalm 119. I'll have to check later. Look at that beautiful old Bible, leather bound. Just coming around the back of the organ here. One thing to look at is these stone columns, so sturdy. It's incredible to think of how they constructed these, 1,000 years ago. I suppose being here in the dark gives the place a unique atmosphere as well. Very quiet, very dark, I guess very serene and holy. Look at that. It's like a ray of light coming through the window there. The funny thing is, when I'm not looking through the camera, I can't actually see that. You can only see it via the camera. Stained glass window. When I was talking to Pauline before, I was saying that it's, at least this church is actually open, even if it is dark. And we were just discussing the fact that a lot of churches are closed because there are things like silver ornaments, etc., that would be worth stealing for somebody. But this one has nothing worthwhile as such in here, therefore it can remain open. Also, it quite helps that it's quite isolated as well. So I think we'll leave here now and go and have a little look around the churchyard. So one of the noticeable things about the churchyard here is how it's bordered by those equal height trees over there. Gives it a nice little boundary. There's a kind of a wall behind it as well that you have to step down from. And we were saying before that apparently this church is quite popular with American visitors because the founder of the Smithsonian Institute was born just in Stanwick Village, which is over beyond the trees there. And a lot of people come trying to visit the birthplace, and they happen upon this church as well. Speaking of which, there's the church tower. Yeah, was just saying before that there's a little wall at the perimeter here. We've got a nice little style here, so it's obviously a public footpath. Let's go over those fields over there. And over there you can see like a little turret. There's a story behind that, which I can't remember, but I will tell you before the end of the video. This beautiful tree. It's a bit dead, but it was once in its pomp. It's interesting that in a lot of these older churches, the gravestones are usually just as old, and we don't see many modern ones. But over here at Stanwick, we actually have quite a lot of relatively recent gravestones. This one, 2014, aged 95 years, had a very good life there. 2007 over here, and you can tell by the fronts of them. This one looks relatively new, but 1973, 1992, 2002 in the background there. But we also have the older ones over here. 1884 that one is. So you do get an idea of how kind of relatively isolated this church is here. You see there's fields all around it to get to the church there. There is a farm over to the left there, and the village some way back behind the church. But let's just take a moment to listen to the sounds of the birds in the countryside. It's the start of March. It's dusk-ish, around 4:30. And we're just gonna go for a little walk out of the other exit before we call it quits. Right, that's the little boulevard that I came in via, but we're gonna leave via this other gate over here, mostly because I know behind it there's a little bit more information about that turret in the field over to the right. Right, so here we are, just outside that little gate, church in the background. Stanwick fortifications. So basically, the meadow over there are a series of excavations that confirmed a Bricantian Iron Age settlement of the hill fort type, pre-Roman period. Around there, a lot of defensive ditches, which is the tree line that we talked about earlier. And a small hexagonal building, which you can just see in the background there, behind the gate in the meadow, is a deer shelter built over an 18th century ice house. So there you go. Okay, that's it for this episode of Church and Verse then, coming from Stanwick. Please remember to like, share, subscribe so other people can get to see this video. And I'll see you in the next one, and God bless you. Take care of yourself.